Hi everyone, it is Lexi here with your Saturday Project Life video here at Two Peas in a Bucket, and I'm just going to get started here. I went ahead and cut out some of the sizes of paper that I would need, and I kind of arranged it how I think it's going to go. So maybe this will be a little bit faster process for me, but I wanted to show you kind of how it's going to look, and then we will put it all together with the embellishments and sewing it and all that good stuff. Something that I do too is, maybe it's something that I cheat on, I don't know, but when I have a layout, whether it's Project Life or just a scrapbooking page, a lot of times I will then take a picture of it with my phone, and then that gives me an idea of how I want to put it back, because then what I do is I end up taking it apart and little pieces will fall off and everything, and that's fine as long as you have a photo of what it's supposed to look like. Now normally I don't print off the photo because I just look on my phone and then I can easily delete that photo, but because I'm using my phone to film, I didn't have that, so that's why I printed it off. So I'm going to get started here, and I'm going to take apart some of these, take these off and kind of just stack them so we can go back to them. And cute little smiley face that went rogue here. Okay, so let's move all this, and I don't know what this is back here. Scraps of paper. All right, so I'm going to start working on these two lower pockets here. This is a couple of photos side by side. My son he's really into Minecraft, my 7-year-old, and so he had drawn good guys on one side and bad guys on the other. So I printed those off with my little selfie printer from my phone. And this paper is cool. You will see that this is from Ellie's Studio, and I just, to make it easy, this is the front and back. So I'm just going to use one on one side and one on the other. And here I've taken a little strip that I just found in my scrap pile. This is Studio Calico piece of paper. And then this right here is I'll get it real quick. Some new washi tape in this store, and I kind of got it off of it's not very continuous, but some of the new washi tape that's clear, and I was able to type on it. It typed easy. And I think it looks cool. It's kind of transparent, and you will see that as I put my Project Life spread together this week, I'm using some clear accents and some transparent things like the washi tape here and some vellum pieces, and that is going to be my challenge for you this week, is to use some of those kind of clear, transparent, see-through things on your projects this week. I'm going to place this here. And this is a cute little vellum tag, and I think it's ormolu. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but she has some really cute vellum tags. Let's see, I have some more I'm going to be using, and they're vellum, and you just can cut apart and use whatever ones you want. So I'm actually going to just put just the tiniest bit of adhesive right here, because I'm going to end up sewing that down, and I don't want all my adhesive to come to show through. Let's see here. I'm just gonna put that there, and then put this little, because this is kind of his little art here, and that the scissors went with art. I didn't have a pencil or crayon, but this little wood veneer here from Studio Calico, I'm just going to staple that down. And then this little side here, if you've watched my videos before, I'm kind of a little washi obsessed. Washi tape, decorative tape, and I'll try not to use too much. As I was going through planning this spread out, I limited myself and said don't go crazy. Okay, we're just gonna add this here just for something on this side. It is a rainy, dreary day out today here in Missouri, so I hope that the lighting is all right for you. And then this brad came from the knee highs and bow ties line from Basic Gray, which if you have kiddos is just super cute line. So I'm going to use one of these brads right here that says wow. It's always fun to find little artwork in backpacks and things like that, and sometimes I'll include that, but I didn't want to cut up his hard work, so I just took pictures of it. So that will go right here. Whoops, I may have this upside down. And I'm using this kind of page protector this week. It's a little bit different. I haven't ever used this style before, but I had several photos oriented this way, so I thought we would try it. So that will go there, and that one's done. And then this one will be a little bit, I don't know, more plain is what I want to say, but I don't know if that's right. But I loved the black and white, and this photo is actually from today, hot off the press. I just printed it, and it was the two boys were just being nice to one another and cuddling by one another, so we're gonna go with that and say, yay, favorite photo. This is a really cool printable. It says, see if you can see, it says favorite photo, and you can see I've been using, there were more over on this side, but I've used a few of these. These are here from the new digital shop here at 2 Peas in a Bucket, so I'm going to use a few of those, and I'll point those out as I go along, but I'm going to use this one and this one right here. Just do a couple arrows down here, and I typed on this one and it says this, and that's one of those cool Maya Road craft arrows. I think it's arrows and stars come together. So I'm just going to, I'll end up sewing this down. Oops, we'll just do one right here. But I'll end up sewing around here. I always save all my sewing at the end so I can take everything over to my sewing machine at once and sew everything down. So we kind of got a little bit of an arrow going on here. Okay, and then I wanted to take one of these transparent tags here and cut that down. And of course I didn't have my scissors handy. So I'll do this. Cut that in. Obviously it's not perfect, but I'm not going to worry about that because I'm just going to slide it underneath here. We're going to do that. So let's get this down. And I kind of liked how the khaki worked with the craft color right here worked with the craft color over here, but also just using the red and the blues then. I didn't really try to match my Project Life little inserts, but whenever they seem to go together, it's always nice. Let's put this here. Okay, and then I have this really cool Heidi Swapp Color Pop clear alphabet. I have this number 2. The numbers and the alphabets come in the pack, and I'm going to put this here because the two of them are just snuggling so cute. But seriously, I'm just going to give a shout out to Heidi Swapp and say, we all love that you're coming back, or at least I do. Anybody else? You remember those ghost shapes, I think they were, and the hearts and the stars were so cool. So Heidi, bring this back. We love them. So I love this because it's a little bit of a minty blue, which kind of goes with the blues I have over here. And I'm just going to staple that down a couple times. And I think those would sew fine as well. I'll have to try that sometime. Okay, so I'm just going to slide that in, just kind of putting them together as I go here. And those two are done. We're going to move up here. This was another one of those, this little banner that says this week that came from that printable set from the store here at 2 Peas in a Bucket. This little section, this paper is from Studio Calico, I believe the Snippets line, but it had lots of different sections you could cut off, and of course you could cut this in half, but it fits perfectly in this space. I'm just going to leave it just like that and use this to kind of mat my photo. Went ahead and did my typing here under today, and this talks about, I found this cool purse when I went thrifting this past week, and I don't even really carry a purse, so I don't know why I thought that I needed it, but it was too cool and it was not very expensive, so it came home with me. This is some cool, I don't know if you, I think you can see how that gold washi tape looks, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of, whoops, I want a little bit bigger piece, to kind of make a little border between the two here. I'm not going to put much on this page by way of embellishments. I'm going to use a little date stamp and then come back and do some sewing here, but I love how that gold tape looks. There, that's kind of cool. And we'll get this down here. I'm just gonna put this right here, kind of in between the two, and I'll end up sewing that down. And I'll probably sew underneath the word today, but I'm also gonna use this Dear Lizzie stamp here and stamp this and that. That's kind of what I had went into the thrift store was a little bit of this and that, and this is what I ended up coming home with. So I thought that was fun to put. I always stamp twice, at least. I don't really even know why, but I'll come back and add all my dates later. I just like to kind of see how it's coming, and like I said, I'm just going to leave this one like this and call it good. So slide that in there. If you're behind on Project Life, raise your hand. Me. But it is okay. Whatever you get recorded is more than you would have. At least that's my thought process here. Okay, I'm going to come over here to this side. And again, I did two printed these from my phone with my selfie printer. And I'm just going to put them side by side here. Because I do only do one side a week, I don't have a whole lot of space, so I just use it how I can. And I've been liking just using one side. It seems more doable to me. Anyway, so I went ahead and typed about this photo, about the succulent photo. I was making some favors for church, so I'm going to put that there. And then the other side is some sushi from a sushi date that I was able to have this week with my husband, so I wanted to include that because unfortunately dates, whether during the day or at night, are rare for us, so I wanted to get that documented. So we'll put that right here. I'm going to leave a little space over here to sew. Put that there. And then I had, here we go, again with these, straighten this up for you, with these vellum. I had went ahead and typed sushi lunch date on a Wednesday, and so these vellum tags are great to type on too, and I haven't had the ink run at all. So I'm going to cut this out, and we're not going to worry if it's not perfect, and I'm going to put this right there. I think that's kind of fun. I'm going to end up sewing it down, so I'm going to do like what I did below and just put a tiny bit of tape and then use my sewing machine to do more of the adhering. And then I'm going to use this little yippee tag here from Basic Gray, because like I said, lunch dates or any kind of dates are rare, unfortunately, so we're going to be super excited that we get to have a lunch date. I'll put it right up here. Let's make a little hole here with my scissors. I'm sure there's a more proper way to do that, but that's how I do it. Let's slide that there, and I think that looks kind of fun. There we go. And around here I wanted to use some of those pink enamel dots that I really get to use pink. So I'm going to just put just a couple down here. And I might have to end up moving those when I sew, but we're going to go ahead and place them here right now, and I can rearrange those if I need to. Alright, that looks fun. Okay. We're going to call that one good. And hopefully it'll slide in. I kind of like that that isn't straight. It's kind of fun. I mean, I could make it straight if I wanted to, but we're not going to worry about that. Alright, so I'm going to move on up here to this section. I went ahead and cut this, and I started the typing, but this was my little guy. They had mismatch day at school, which is awesome because Mama doesn't have to worry about picking out clothes. I just was able to say, go get your clothes on today, and he picked out whatever he wanted. And what he picked out was this camo cowboy boot Yoda hat combination. So I thought that was really cute. And what I'm going to do is I put Rocking Thee, and I'm going to add camo, cowboy, and Yoda, and then I already typed the word combo, so I'm going to add that here. And then I'm going to end up sewing a little box around here and probably pointing it to the photo. I love these stickers that come in all different colors from the Snap line. So I think I'm going to use the blue, and this is going to go on this side, so the blue kind of goes along with this, and I have pieces of blue here and there, so it doesn't matter, but let's just go with the blue. Not going to think too much on it. Just going to go for it. So I'm going to spell it camo. And I'm not going to worry either about getting them too straight or anything like that. I think I use the word worry a lot. Probably because I don't really worry too much about scrapbooking. I want it to be fun and nothing to stress over. Camo, let's do cowboy. Hopefully cowboy will fit. I have to squish some of those letters together. And I'm not doing any rhyme or reason between lowercase, uppercase. That one's way down. Just doing whatever here. Can you hear the rain out there? It's so nice and quiet. And I'm trying to record this with my real voice in real time because my children are napping. Shh, let's not wake them up. Okay, cowboy, camo, cowboy, and Yoda combo. Okay, cool. So, like I said, I'm going to use some sewing around there, but I have this really cute LA Studio little tabbed piece that I'm going to use. And I might end up having to cut some of that off. And then this cute little camera paper clip. That's Prima. I'm going to put this here, and I might end up having to trim some of that off. We will see. Move this over just a hair. There we go. And then, where did it go? Okay, here it is. This says, "You're a superstar," and it came from that same pack of the clear stuff from, the knee-highs and bow ties from Basic Gray. And if you get this and they look a little not so shiny, it's because it has a little, I don't know if you can see that little piece of plastic to come off the front. It keeps it from scratching, and I don't think it has one on the back side, at least. If it does, I can't get it off, but one side will have that, the front side will have that. So I'm going to put that here. I'm actually going to sew that down, so for now I'm just going to tuck it underneath that. So that will be this one here. And as I move over, this is also from that same printable from the store here. It says "Say Cheese." So this is kind of our fun little section here. So I want to use that. I'll end up, I'm going to put the date stamp right here and end up sewing underneath that. So that'll go there. And for the background here, I decided to do something a little different. Oh, I did want to add this little smiley face from the same set of little clear accents here. And I will end up getting this off somehow. There we go. There, he's much more shiny, and I'm actually going to staple him down. Or her, as the case may be. I'm going to put, alright, so that's there. So for the background here, instead of doing pattern paper, I'm actually going to cut down, this is one of Paxton's worksheets he was working on. So I thought it would be fun to use that as a background, kind of where he is at right now, because down below I had got something that Big Brother had drawn, so I thought to put that there. I also have this little hairy guy drawing. I don't really know what it's supposed to be, but it was cute. So I'm going to tuck in and use this space right here as kind of what he's been doing lately. So I'm going to cut that real quick. I think that's a good way to incorporate, instead of saving the full sheets of artwork or projects that your kiddos are doing, you can do it this way. So you get a kind of a piece or a little glimpse as to what they're doing without having to feel like you needed to save the whole thing. I'm going to cut this down here. trying to figure out where I can get more of his writing in. Some of it's not going to show anyway. So, all right. So I'm going to do this like this. And put, oh, you can't hardly see anything, can you? Maybe we'll just do this. I think I'm just going to do this, and I can save this little hairy guy drawing for some other time. But I just like that it kind of shows where he is right now with this stuff, and it makes a kind of unique background. So here is how it ended up looking. I'm just going to try to show you some of the sewing here, some of the stitching. That kind of just makes it, adds a little something. I usually use a light gray color, but I ran out, so this is a little darker gray and shows up a little bit more, but I kind of like it. My yippee is really crooked. That's okay. And let's flip down here to these. So there you have it. That's how she ended up. And with that, the children have woken up from their nap. I can hear them upstairs. Thank you so much for joining me today at 2 Peas in a Bucket with your Project Life video for this Saturday.